Hey guys, it is Melissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the case of Kierra Coles. And I've been following this case from the beginning, and I guess I, like many, assumed that this would be solved by now. And I think that's because we were misled by a video that was released into the media. There was a video of what they thought was Kierra Coles leaving her apartment dressed in her USPS postal office outfit as if she was going to work. It has now been proven that that video is not her. And I want to take a moment and correct a few things that are out there in the media and help raise awareness on this case. And I want to add something, and I don't know how to broach it, and so you know what? I just do it. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's different. I've been around a long time, and I was really kind of I got 3 different comments on past videos thanking me for doing a video on a woman of color. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry that you ever have to say that, because I'll do a video on anyone. That's never crossed my mind. I do know the difference in the media, and I do see what gets covered and what doesn't. And I hope that we can continue as creators here on YouTube. We have a different platform, and we get to choose our own content, and we get to spread our love and our awareness wherever we want to. And I encourage all of us to quit worrying about that part of it and to just spread love so that we can actually help people, because this girl is missing. She was 3 months pregnant, and now there's another missing woman who is pregnant as well in the same area. So I'm going to cover Kierra Coles' case and give you guys a little bit of information on Marlen Ochoa, who just recently went missing and was 9 months pregnant. There's not a lot of information on that case, so it would be a really short 2-minute video. So I'm going to put this in there as well because it's in the same area, and anything we can do to raise awareness for these women of any color, that's what we need to be doing, okay, guys? So much love to you. Hot topics are hot topics. We're just going to cover them anyway. So thank you guys so much for being here, and let's jump right into the video. Okay, so the first thing is that Kierra Coles was a 27-year-old woman. There's a lot of different news reports that say 26 and 27. That is because she had just turned 27 in September. She worked for the United States Postal Service as a postal worker, and she'd been working there for quite a while. She had just recently got a new apartment. She had her own vehicle. She had been in a relationship with a man by the name of Josh for several years. Now, it seems that everyone kind of knew Josh had 2 relationships going. So, apparently, he had a child with this other woman, and she was recently pregnant, and Kierra had just found out that she was pregnant. In fact, she was 3 months along. There was reports by the neighbor that they had been fighting about that. Now, the thing is all 3 of them worked at the same post office. Now, at her job, she was known to be reliable, always there, and her friends and family always knew what was going on with her. She was a social media girl. She was always on Snapchat posting where she was going, what she was doing. She had Monday and Tuesday off, which was October 1st and October 2nd of 2018. Now, her reported missing date is October 2nd because that's the last time she was seen or heard from. Apparently on that day, it was her day off, and she had started to feel the baby move. So she went over to her friend Akita's house and hung out with her for a couple hours. She ended up leaving so that she could make it to a WIC appointment. Now, that's where it kind of goes cold. Nobody knows if she went to that appointment. I'm sure police know by now, but that hasn't been released from what I could find if she made it to that appointment. Now, the next morning of October 3rd, there is a surveillance video from the neighbor's house. And it shows a woman, similar to Kierra, walking past Kierra's car in a uniform for a postal worker. So everyone thought that that was her walking past her car and continuing out of the frame, which was very confusing because apparently she called into work for the 3rd. Now, the thing is that when you call in sick at the post office, apparently it's very, very hardcore rules that you have to call in the day before. So everyone was saying, oh, she called in the day before. But the assumption was that she would have called in the day before because she was kind of stuck to the rules. She didn't seem to just call in sick. She would have requested the day off. And I'm very confused as to, was she sick? What was going on? A lot of that is not being given out. And so we don't actually know when she called in. And it's not 100% confirmed that it was her that actually called herself in sick. The thing is that because she's still a missing person, there are privacy laws with the post office as her employer. So they will not confirm when she called in and that it was 100% her. But her mother has reported that she spoke with someone and they did confirm with her, which I could see happening. Like if it were my kid and I called bawling and I was like, please just tell me, like, I'm sure somebody would be like, well, I'm not saying, but wink, wink, like I'm saying. So the reason that they know that it is not her is there's a couple of things that didn't make sense. First of all, she walks past the car and there's no video of her coming back to the car. And the car was found at her apartment still. It never left. I was trying to find someone actually saying it. I saw in many interviews that the mother had apparently already said that, yes, at first when she saw the video, she absolutely thought it was Kierra. And then after there were some questions brought up about the height not seeming right, she did ultimately say that maybe she just kind of hoped it was her. And yeah, you're right. It probably isn't her. It doesn't quite look right. And there was an interview done here on YouTube by Missing Cases Persons Network. I think I said that right. I'll link it down below for you guys, where the father said that, yeah, absolutely. He knew right away that it wasn't her. He could totally tell. And he knew who it was. Apparently, this apartment area, there's a lot of postal workers. Like, they all work together and then they're all living on the same block. So apparently, he knew exactly who it was. And he spoke with that woman. And yes, absolutely, it was her walking to work. So we know for sure that this video is not Kierra. What we can figure out is that she called in sick. And then we don't have all of the neighbors' surveillance. It's a very choppy split, and there's claims that it's because it's been chopped up, but it's just a frame of a woman walking back and forth. She goes kind of this way, and then she goes and walks past Kierra's car, but everyone wants to know, well, okay, well, what about, hours prior, hours after, the next day, the day after? This is like a nice high-end security system, and we don't have it. So assuming law enforcement has it, but that question isn't been answered. Okay, so at this point, the last known contact that is publicly known is October 2nd of 2018. After 5 p.m. was the last time Kierra Coles was seen. At the time of her disappearance, she was 5'4", 120 pounds, described as being very physically fit, and it was really nice to see how many people talked about what a loving person she was, outgoing, family, but she was also known as being feisty and bossy. So I'm visualizing a really sassy girl. And she was 3 months pregnant with her first child. Now, she was 27 years old and having her first child, and she was beyond excited. And I know that there's going to be the talk that, she had a boyfriend and he had a girlfriend, so she's side chick. You know what, though? I'm just picturing this. At this point, she doesn't care. She's just so happy. Her family said she was ecstatic. She was just thinking about everything exciting. She did not know yet whether or not she was having a boy or a girl. Her family found her vehicle at the apartment still when they went looking for her on the 4th because they had not heard from her. Now, this was abnormal. Her mother said she spoke to her several times a day, every day. And again, she was a Snapchatter. This was abnormal for her to be so quiet. When they went there, they found her vehicle. Inside of her vehicle, they found underneath her jacket in the front seat, they found her purse. They found her cell phone. They found her inhaler, which she needed, and her lunch. So that was very confusing because her packed lunch was in the car. She didn't work Monday or Tuesday. So when was this lunch from? Because don't get me wrong, I've left my lunch in my car. But I guess it would have had to have been from Sunday. Do they work on Sundays? Well, maybe she probably worked on Sundays. And so would have imagined you would be able to tell the difference between a packed lunch for Sunday versus a packed lunch for Wednesday. If something happened to her and maybe she was going to work and then something stopped her, where's the video of her going out to her car to put stuff into her car? It's very confusing. Now, according to her father, on this same interview that he did with Missing Cases Network, I'll link it down below for you. And that he kind of said it, and it cuts out really bad at this point, but I believe he was saying that there is video, but a tree blocks her passenger side of her car, so you can't see who it is. So then, of course, the first thing we want to know is, well, let's talk to the boyfriend. He should know information, correct? The police did talk to him, and they had a very short interview with him, and then he requested legal counsel, which is his right to do. And it's not that I'm saying it's not a good idea, because obviously, if there's a chance you're going to be implicated if you want legal defense, that's not the problem. The problem is that he has subsequently not cooperated in giving them information. And even if you're 100% not involved, you have information that they need. And if you're a suspect and you know you didn't do it, you need to do the process, because you need to get them to stop talking to you. And if it takes you a minute to make sure you covered your alibi, and even legitimate alibis that you want to verify, you know, every minute, and you want to make sure you can answer for why you may have said something in text or email, or, you know, all of those things, even if you're completely, you know, not guilty of anything. I get taking a minute, but like, it's been months, and the focus is obviously on Josh for a reason. According to online comment reporting, so the new official way of the internet, this is like how you get your news. According to comments by people left on their Facebook group, on YouTube, videos that have been posted, Josh and his girlfriend, who also both worked at this great job at the post office, apparently immediately both quit their jobs and moved out of the state of Illinois. And then so did his father or parents. I don't know that for sure. I saw it in 4 different spots, so like kind of makes you wonder. But I also see that there is a little bit of a smear campaign. There are posters going around as if Josh is wanted, and that's not true. He's not wanted. They would like to speak with him further. He does have a lawyer, and I know that the questioning process involving a lawyer can get very long. They kind of pre-approve the questions, and then they pre-write their answers. Kind of. Like, whatever. Your own opinion on that one. And so that's making it very complicated. The thing is that he was with Kierra for 5 to 6 years. How do you just go stone quiet? Why aren't you helping in some way? She was pregnant with your child. And I know that the other girlfriends probably got issues with you being involved in this, but like, your child, and you need to clear this up. There was a lot of hope by the family that Kierra was going to be found. She was 3 months pregnant when she disappeared in October, and her due date was April 23rd of 2019. It is now May. That date has passed, and it's just a very scary situation to not know where she is, and to feel a lot of doom and gloom that something happened to her and she was harmed and that she won't be returning. I am praying for the family very seriously. The post office put up part of a reward. The family raised funds. A financial group, I think it was like Sir Financial Group in the Chicago area, put up another $18,000 just recently. So I think the reward is at $46,000. So they're actively searching for leads in this case. And if you know anything, or you know anyone, or if you've got friends and family in that area, please share this story with them. And especially now, because we have another missing pregnant woman in the area. Now, we mentioned Kierra Coles' due date, and it was April 23rd. That's actually the exact date that Marlen Ochoa went missing out of Chicago. She was 19 years old. She was married, and she had a 3-year-old son. She was also 9 months pregnant. She was leaving her high school. Apparently, she was doing a continuation school, and she was talking and texting with her husband. She had told him that she was really tired. She was really worn out. She was right there ready to give birth. And she was on her way to her 3-year-old son's daycare to pick him up. She never arrived and she has not been found since. Her vehicle is, I'm going to make sure it's up on the screen. They have searched, they have not found her vehicle. And the thing about Marlen is that there was not a chance in this world that she was going to disappear. She was incredibly close with her family. She had a 3-year-old son. She was literally going into labor. The women at the school said that she didn't look that well that day. You could tell, that end of the, a lot of you guys are like, no, never had a kid. But like that last day, like you are just done. And this made no sense. She would not disappear while in labor and leave her son and her husband. There was just absolutely no signs whatsoever that she was going to leave her family. And so obviously my first thought was, oh no, like, did she have one of those, like, so tired, so exhausted, she went the wrong way, she crashed somewhere? But it's been 2 weeks. She's past her due date and she has still not been found. Okay, so this is going to be a voiceover, and so if this sounds kind of different. So I finished recording my video on Tuesday, and I was going to edit it and put it up on Wednesday. But Tuesday afternoon, after I finished recording, there was a newborn baby discovered in Chicago, and it was left on top of a trash can with the umbilical cord still attached. Now, there wasn't a lot of information released other than that it was a boy. Now, Kierra did not know the sex of her child, but Marlen was pregnant with a boy. And so there was obviously immediately everyone wanted to know, is it a chance that that this is the baby that belongs to one of these two girls? They did not release the race of the baby, so they weren't able to use that as a determination. And there wasn't a lot of information on if anyone saw who left the child or anything like that. So I ended up spending Tuesday night just trying to dig and find out if there was any news. And then Wednesday today, kind of waiting it out to see if anything. Marlen's family has come forward and they really think that it's a chance that this is her baby. The thing is that Kierra was due on April 23rd, which was several weeks ago. And so that is absolutely a possibility. Marlen was due to give birth on Sunday, May 5th, and this child was discovered on Tuesday, May 7th. The baby was left on top of the trash can in critical condition, umbilical cord still attached. The baby was barely breathing, but I'm going to make sure I put down below the news so you can actually watch this. The fire captain speaking about resuscitating this baby. There was a mother and daughter that found the child and brought it to the fire department. And there's a lot of conversation about safe haven, which is a law that I've already been planning on doing a video. I've been researching it and kind of looking into the laws, and anyways, that's a whole nother story. But I am anxious to see whose child this is. Is it just a random person? Because it happens all the time. In fact, there was another baby left in Florida today. Again, I don't want to get going on that tangent, but I'm praying that if it is the child of one of these girls, that it's going to help them be found, and pray that means that they're alive. I also want to mention that Marlen she has a couple of different names. So there's Marlen Ochoa, Marlen Lopez, and then I will put it on the screen. I don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with a U. I will make sure I've got the different last names that she's used listed down below for you. So I'm conflicted because now, Kierra was only 3 months pregnant. So not a lot of chance that she was showing, especially being her first child. She was a very small girl. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't. I know you guys are going to comment down below like, no, when I was 3 months pregnant, I was this big. And then somebody else is going to be like, yeah, when I was 3 months pregnant, couldn't even tell. My first child, I literally was like 6 months pregnant and you could barely tell. And then my second child, I think I looked 9 months pregnant the day I found out. Like, that's how it feels. You know what I mean? Anyways, just a side note, everybody's different. But, is there a crazy rash of pregnant women? Just, dear Lord, please pray. Do not let that be what's going on. And just let's pray that we find some justice in these cases, because that's just a scary situation. It is enough to have a child go missing. It is enough to have a mom go missing. and then you just take it and you combine it all together and you have a pregnant woman. I mean, it's just not okay. So I hope that this helps spread some awareness and that we debunk a couple of things that have been said so that you know when you see that video of the postal worker walking past the car, that is not her, and we don't know. And so leave me some comments down below on what you guys have heard. I have heard some crazy things. I heard something about a refrigerator. Leave that down below if you know what I'm talking about, because I couldn't find anything to confirm that. And I really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Hug your babies, hug your loves. Life is literally too precious to not enjoy every minute of every day. So I love you guys and have a wonderful day.